Bleh. So, generally speaking, when I'm doing 31 days of Halloween, I'm just jumping around. I'm jumping around from streaming site to streaming site to streaming site, watching here, watching there. Sometimes I dip into my physical media, Blu-rays, but it's effortless to go to go from, there's just so much out there to watch. And I never, no rhyme or reason, as I said in the kickoff show. But sometimes that could be a problem because when there's too much to watch, you can't make a decision. You don't know what you want to invest your time into. For me, I'm always looking for something that is interesting and that have not seen yet, like particularly, and I've watched way more stuff than I have seen already than I plan to. But I'm always looking for, interesting new stuff. And, typically maybe I'll read a synopsis, but the thing that I'm going, like my order of like what I want to watch, it's always like movie poster and then synopsis. And then like on rare occasion, a trailer. I generally do not want to ever watch a trailer. I want to be surprised. And sometimes I run afoul of things that are not that great. And sometimes they string me along in a way. There's something that hooks me in and strings me along in a way where I will, I'll keep watching because I'm like, all right, this is interesting. This is interesting enough. And the movie is almost over. And I used to never abandon movies. Like I used to see a movie through all the way to the end, no matter what, obviously, especially if I'm going to the movies. But like in recent years, I'm like, time is just too fucking short and there's too many fucking movies to watch. And if I'm not down with something, I stop. I'll just stop. But like I said, if there is something interesting enough to keep me, going along, then I'll watch. Case in point, Clawfoot, directed by Michael Day. This came out in 2023. This was on Stars. And I'm watching this guy, the guy in this movie. So the synopsis: an upper-class suburban housewife is psychologically terrorized by a manipulative contractor remodeling her bathroom until the tables are turned and a twisted battle of wits ensues with deliciously unexpected results. I don't think the results were deliciously unexpected, if I'm being honest. The reason why I stuck with this movie is that the guy, the contractor, looked very familiar to me, but I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, but there's something that's very familiar about him. It's his expressions, it's his gaze, the way he looks and the way his mannerisms, he reminds me of someone. And that's when I realized that the co-lead, this contractor, is played by Milo Gibson, Mel Gibson's son. I'm going, holy shit, that guy is related to Mel Gibson somehow. So I Google it and sure enough, yeah, it's his son. And he has a charisma that I found interesting, a Mel Gibson charisma. Yes, we all know how horrible Mel Gibson is, and I hate that I even have to bring that up when I'm just talking about a movie. Like, why can't we just talk about things? Why can't we separate the art from the artist in this way? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I don't know why I just did that just now. Who fucking cares? We all know how much shitty of a person Mel Gibson is. It's inconsequential to the conversation now. In any case, I love Mel Gibson as an actor. And so it was interesting to watch his son. I'm like, where is this movie going? Because it's so, first of all, the way it's shot, it's so clean. It doesn't have any character. It's like this bright white, it's not what the subject matter that's being shot. That's the problem. It's like the lighting. It's like that even lighting. There's no atmosphere. It just feels like homogenous and bland. There's no style. There's no voice, right? And so I'm watching that. And I guess Francesca Eastwood, I think, is the daughter of Clint Eastwood. So you got some real legacy people here. And, I'm trying to figure out, like, where is this movie going? And it's, there's, I would say maybe there's like a little bit of a Hitchcock bend of like, trying to hide a murder in a house sort of situation. There's something going on, trying to figure it out. And it turns out to be this like money laundering plot. It turns out that Milo Gibson's actually a money launderer for her husband. And then her friend is a lawyer. And the bottom line, the tables do get turned, and the plot is just not, what's more interesting is the back and forth between, the two leads, but the plot doesn't really go anywhere. I don't know. It's really sort of simple. And I was just hoping that we were gonna. I was hoping it was gonna turn into something else, and it doesn't. It didn't turn into something else. The third act is incredibly bloody, and it takes place in a clawfoot bathtub. I think that's why the movie is called Clawfoot. And but ultimately the juice is not worth the squeeze. It just wasn't. It just wasn't. I guess I don't know if I'm glad I watched it. I just, I don't know. I finished it. I was like, all right, it's another movie on the docket. Might as well just finish it, see where this is going to go. There's a lot of post-production editing that is very jarring in the last act, especially during a very bloody finish where there's people getting cut up in the bathtub. It does get bloody. Because 2/3 into this movie, I'm going, this isn't a Halloween watch at all. Like, it's funny how Ed Wood is a Halloween watch, even though it's not a horror movie, because it deals with horror movie type stuff. It's adjacent. This, I'm like, oh my God, I got tricked. Because here's the thing about thrillers, and this is what I should have said at the beginning of this video, is that like thrillers ride this fine line. Thrillers can dip into the horror territory, kind of like the first movie we watched, What You Wish For. That was a thriller, categorized and marketed as a thriller that was very much also a horror film. But sometimes a thriller can go in the other direction. It goes from being a thriller to an action adventure or something. And this didn't do that. But this kind of doesn't really dip. It doesn't totally dip into horror until the end. In the end, it's a big bloody finish, and you could put this in your 31 days of Halloween watch if you wanted to. Personally, like, if you like Mel Gibson and want to see how his son acts, like, check this out. If I could go back in time, would I have invested my time in watching this? No, I would not have. I would have moved on. So I gave it 2 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd.